everybody. Good afternoon to you. How are you? Hope you're having a great afternoon. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Oregon. I'm going to be out of the house tomorrow and probably the day after that as well. The rest of the week, up until next Wednesday, the temperatures are going to be well over 100 every single day. So I wanted to get some stuff done before the temperatures get too incredibly high. So, what are we doing today? Well, I thought we'd do a little bit of a retro react. Now, Chantal's on her channel. She is saying that all the reaction channels, that we're a bunch of bullies, that we pick on her strictly due to her weight. I wouldn't call what we do as being classified as bullying. All we do is simply react to her videos and give our thoughts, feelings, and opinions to the things that she says and the things that she does. The reaction channels do not go into her live chats and bother her. Just the opposite is true. She likes to go into the live chats and community posts and videos and on Twitter and on TikTok and bother everybody else. You know, she's stalking everybody who is a reactor or has an opinion. So what we're being accused of, she's actually guilty of. She likes to control the narrative. And what drives her the most mad is when there are people not under her control giving their thoughts, giving their opinions, expressing their feelings on their channels, and she can't do a doggone thing about it. Chantal only believes in the freedom of speech when it pertains to her. Everybody else should be censored. Well, that's not the way the world works. Now, I know that Chantal on her channel, she's got a new batch of beezers. A lot of them don't know the lore. They haven't been around as long. They came to the party late, so they don't know all the goings on with Chantal. I wanted to do this video for anybody from her side of the pasture that might wonder, why do the reactors not like Chantal so much? What horrible things has she done? What horrible things has she said to make us all feel the way that we do? Obviously, there must be a reason to have so many people feeling and thinking the same way. And spoiler, it has nothing to do with her weight. Chantal's weight is her issue to deal with or not deal with. That's entirely for her to decide on what she wants to do with it or not. The weight is at the bottom of the list, at the very, very bottom. There are so many other things going on. So I've gathered up some clips, courtesy of the channel Queen of WTF. And just to be fair, because I like to be fair, these clips are from different streams. It's not all from the same stream. I wanted to showcase some of what was going on about a year or 2 years ago. For those who were not around a year or 2 years ago, those who weren't around for Crackhead Olympics, those of you that were not around for the insane, absolutely insane live streaming, the amount of time that Chantal was online, literally from morning until night, we're talking easily 8 to 12 hours a day, every day. It was an absolute nightmare to be a reactor for Chantal at that time because none of us were getting any sleep. We were tired. And that's not even talking about the dirty deleted streams she did, where she would just get in a mood, she'd get a wild hair, and she would go live at whatever hour, sometimes really late at night, thinking she was really clever and she could go live late at night. And because it was late at night, she thought, oh, the reactors are asleep and they won't be up. But yet she forgets that we're all in different time zones. So trying to do a stream and nobody's going to get it, not going to happen. Yeah, trying to catch those dirty deleted streams before they were gone, that was a whole nother challenge. On top of keeping up with the 8 to 12 hour stream she did. I mean, I'm laughing about it now, but I wasn't laughing about it then because, man, it was a lot. And she never considered, what people in the world have 8 to 12 hours a day to watch her. Most people have jobs and lives and families, and they could maybe give up an hour or two of their day. They don't have literally all day to watch her, but she just went crazy, absolutely nuts with the streaming. And most of the time, she was complaining, she was crying, she was raging against Natter, all that. So I compiled just a brief list of different streams that Chantal did, just to give those who are not aware the gist of Chantal, what the reactors had to deal with, what the audience had to deal with, and to give some illumination on why it is that 8 years later, after Chantal creating her channel, she is where she is today. It's been 8 years. It took 8 years for Chantal to build a channel and then effectively destroy it. Once upon a time, she poured all of her efforts into building up her channel, building up her audience. She would sit down and brainstorm ideas on how to keep people interested. And she always used drama and shock and vulgarity and whatever negative she could think of to get the job done. And to a certain extent, it worked. But now here we are 8 years later, and it's gotten really, really, really boring. And if you want my opinion about what happened, I think Chantal got too extreme too quickly. Like her cycles just got faster and faster, and she kept upping the ante on herself, kept raising the bar with how much she could shock everybody, how much vulgarity and profanity and doggone near nudity she could throw at us. It didn't take her very long to hit the ceiling. And once she hit the ceiling with ideas and couldn't go any further, she decided to go the other way. Instead of showing off her body and doing the most with being a wild feral creature, she decided to cover up and be modest and let that be kind of a shock factor for people. Well, that wore off really quickly, but the problem with the new persona that she's trying to put on, it is so against who she really is. It is the complete opposite of what she naturally is. It's not true to her nature. And because it's not true to her nature, she's trying to, in essence, fit a square peg into a round hole. It's very uncomfortable. She's very miserable. Yet her most important thing is she doesn't want to lose face in front of girl world. I mean, that's really important to her. She doesn't want to admit that we were right and she's wrong. She doesn't want to admit that she's made a series of bad choices and bad decisions that have led her to where she's at right now, and just try to course correct. No, like she's going to just keep on the path that she's on, keep walking it, even though it's a bad one, and it's going to lead to her a whole lot of trouble. She's going to stay on it for the sake of vanity and pride and her own oversized ego. But in the meantime, let's do a retro react. And let me show you, the audience members, those of you that weren't around for Crackhead Olympics, what the reactors had to deal with and how absolutely ungrateful and mean and nasty she was to her audience at a time when she was making the most money. I would like to add a sidebar, side note, that during this time period that I'm going to show you, Chantal was pulling in some really good money. There were more than quite a few months where Chantal was making $20,000, $30,000 a month. Yes, she was. I mean, she would just drop that cash like it wasn't even a thing. Because of all the live streaming and all the hours she spent online, because things were very up in the air. Nobody knew what to expect. People were tuning in. She was making some good money, and she wasted every single bit of it. Yep. That's not the case anymore. But it's sheer insanity. All that money, though, it made her arrogant. Made her absolutely arrogant. She would constantly come on stream and tell people, like, if some of you leave, there'll be more to replace you. Like, she literally treated her audience as if they were disposable, not even acknowledging that the people in her audience were people. They were just names on a screen to her that gave her money and gave her super chats. She crapped on so many people. She would do community posts and live streams calling out her own VIBs by name. Another sidebar side note, during that time period, Chantal did not have open chat. It was strictly VIB chat because she hates doing open chat. She doesn't want to talk to people for free. She wants to almost force people to pay money to talk to her, although she's got nothing interesting to say. So when you watch these live streams, just kind of keep that in mind that these are VIB only live streams. People that have paid their $5 to talk to Chantal, to be part of her live chats. So when you hear her make these rude comments, and there's going to be some, yeah, not open chat at all. Anyway, how about we get into it? As a introductory course for those who don't know about Crackhead Olympics, weren't around at that time, or refresher course for those that were, and it's like, yeah, we remember that person. We remember that girl. We remember her quite well. And another reason why I'm doing this, because the person you're about to see in these videos is still around. She may be wearing a hijab, she may be wearing an abaya, but no matter what the clothing is, the person underneath the clothing is exactly the same. So the person who's in Kuwait right now, that's the same person that at some point has to come back to Canada. And we're probably going to see this person again. So let's just all be reminded or be introduced to the real Chantal, the real one, not the fake one trying to be modest, the really real one. Okay, so where do we start first? Let me just look. Again, these are all different time periods. I'm going to show when these videos were posted. I'm going to show the receipts on that. And for anybody who might be a VIB, anyone who might be a viewer to Chantal, that maybe you're still thinking that the reactors were all just a bunch of meanie heads picking on Chantal, please do your own research. Check out things yourself. You're a person. If you think that the reactors are just not nice, feel free to do your own research. Just do a search on YouTube. Foodie Beauty, mad at viewers. You won't believe the amount of videos that'll pop up and the things that you'll see. But you'll see for yourself. I mean, proof positive right there. Chantal being Chantal in her own words, us not putting words in her mouth. Feel free to do your own research and find out things yourself. You'll find out a lot, but I warn you, what you're going to find out is going to shock you. Even this short recap video of some of her finer moments, it's still going to shock you, but there's even more out there. Trust me, there's a lot more. Okay, so where do we start first? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's start here with this first video, courtesy of Queen of WTF. And this was posted 2 years ago. 2. Before we begin, I would like to say this, please. When you're dealing with somebody as extreme as Chantal, someone who's got a lot of bad habits, she's got several different addictions, all layered on top of each other. Bad habits, addictions, things of that nature. Pardon me, I'm still looking. Let's see. Where is it? Hold on a second. Let's go here. All right. What was I saying? Sorry. When you got someone as extreme as Chantal, bad habits, many bad habits, many different addictions, all layered on top of each other, because you can't take one addiction and trade it for another. That's just not how it works. You have to deal with them individually. You're taking one problem, and by trying to replace it, what you're doing is you're making multiple issues. Addictions, bad habits, bad living conditions, bad mindset, all of that takes time to fix. All of that takes therapy to fix, counseling. And you really got to want the change. You got to want to change all of that. And each one of those things takes time to correct. So Chantal's plate, as far as what she needs to fix, that sucker is overflowing, and everything is just stacked to the ceiling. So you're about to see Chantal. Some of the clips are 2 years ago, some are from 1 year ago. You're about to see her in her finer moments. Does anybody out there believe that someone as extreme as Chantal, with all of her bad habits, with the way she was living, and her being extremely impulsive, having her food issues, there might be some emotional or mental issues as well that are unchecked, no counseling, no therapy, no inpatient, that they could go from 0 to 100 in a year, to go from completely feral and vulgar and pornographic and gross, no empathy, cruel, mean, nasty, evil, to go from that to now I'm a modest person and I love my husband so much. And again, no inpatient was done in the jump. There was no therapy, no counseling. Going from this to this successfully with no help, not talking to anybody, no true commitment, because I don't. Even just one bad habit or one addiction, it takes a long time to get on top of it. Never mind several stacked on top of each other. She's got many different issues. She's not willing to change any of them. She's not willing to change herself. She's not even willing to face herself. If she's not willing to face herself and admit what's wrong and fix it, how can it be fixed? It really, really can't. She's got to have hope for herself. She's got to fix herself before change can happen. Everybody else in her audience that's hoping for her, praying for her, wanting her to get healthy, you all might mean well, but she's got to want it for herself, for something to occur. She's got to take the first step. She's got to do it. But enough with that. Let's get into her content. So why don't we start with this? Okay, Exhibit A. So what are we going to see here? Chantal being Chantal. And you guys are going to see how she was living. And for those who haven't seen it yet, it's shocking. Absolutely shocking. Chantal was living in absolute filth. Not dirt, filth. There's a difference between dirty and filthy. Dirty is 15 minutes, maybe half an hour's worth of house cleaning and you're done. Filthy is when you could clean all day and it still wouldn't look like you did anything. She lived filthy. Layers and layers of garbage and rubbish on the floor, overflowing litter boxes that never got changed, mummified food in the drawers, fruit flies in the house, lots of fruit flies, rotten food in the fridge so bad that Chantal herself said that she could smell the rot even with the door closed, moldy pots. I mean, the amount of filth in the house was stupid. She was making really good money at that time, and she could have hired a couple of maids to come in and clean everything once or twice a week. But she chose to live that way when she did not have to. She had a choice and she had money to make a difference. But You're about to see what's going on with her. And yeah, not only did she live that way, but what's worse is that she made her pets live in all that filth. Her two cats, BBJ and Sam. The house was so filthy, there was nowhere for them to run around, play around. They lived in filthy conditions. Chantal was smoking the green from morning till night, hotboxing the whole place from morning till night. They couldn't do the zoomies because animals do like to do the zoomies when they're happy, when they got energy. But you're about to see. Let's go.
If you want to watch it, you're going to watch it.
Oh, another word of warning. Chantal with the bad language. You're going to hear a lot of the F-bombs.
Here, otherwise, you're not going to watch it at all. I fucking hate people. Real life, cow tipping, blah, 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 because this is harassment.
Okay, that we're going to stop it right here. Exhibit A. Let's blow that up. That's just a corner of her room. So we had the upstairs portion. There was her room on one side. There was Pizza's room on the other side. And for those who do not know, Chantal had all of the little extras in her house. She had a washer and dryer right there in the same hallway next to her room. So there was no reason for any kind of dirty clothes. Machine's right there. She had a dishwasher. So again, no reason for dirty dishes. But you're seeing all the garbage that she piled into her closet. That was her way of cleaning, was piling everything in the closet. You see all that garbage around her chair. She couldn't walk a straight line from her bedroom door to her desk. Just garbage every place. The cat's feeding area, equally disgusting and filthy. There was garbage underneath her desk. Her place was so nasty that the reactors, we would make jokes about Box Mountain. So for anybody wondering, what does Box Mountain pertain to? Box Mountain was the name we gave the literal mountains of Amazon boxes, the empty boxes that she had in different areas of her house that were stacked from floor to ceiling. There were several areas of those. And she once paid someone $500 just to break down all the boxes when Pete was in the house and he could have done it for free. You know, a little at a time if it was too much. But she paid someone to break down all the boxes rather than do it herself or have Pete do it. That's how much money she was making, that she could just throw $500 at somebody and go, here, break some boxes down. But yeah, you're seeing the filth. This is what she lived in, and this is what she made her pets live in. Unacceptable.
I know. I'm at Pizza's mom's and I'm looking at YouTube just to check throughout the day, just to see if I'm missing anything, just to make sure that all hell is not fucking breaking loose. And there's a picture of poor BBJ. It's not funny, but baby girl. Look at all of the fresh food.
Okay, you know what? Back in the day, Chantal had a camera that it wasn't set to one specific position. This camera followed the movement. And I love this camera because it was such a snitch. It was such a doggone snitch. And the snitching on her right now. Look, there's the rest of her bedroom. Do y'all see what's in the right-hand corner? That is BBJ's feeding area. No clean water bowl, no clean food bowl. The food is spilled on the ground. This is how she fed BBJ. And we now know that BBJ had rotted teeth. So how much pain do you think BBJ was in eating that hard food? But this is how she lived. Absolutely disgusting and filthy. No reason for it.
Okay. I am definitely apologizing for the state of my messiness and her dish being okay. Here's what I do, and I have to stop doing this, but I've been doing it lately because early in the morning, when I get up to pee, I usually get up to pee at least once. I just kind of like go in passing and I'm like half asleep and I have to pee and I just kind of like half bend down so I don't pee myself and just dump a whole bunch of crunchies in the dish and like half of it, some of it gets on the floor and some of it is from Sam eating the crunchies. And like I said, when he eats his fat head, the bowl is like this big. I need a bigger bowl so that none of the food flies everywhere. So I have to vacuum it up. It does.
Ma'am, I'm kind of confused. Fruit flies are not attracted to dry cat food. What are you talking about? What are you saying? What are you saying? You're not making sense. You were making so much money back in the day, and you could get a feeder bowl for your cats at the Dollar Tree. Just like an ordinary plastic bowl. You get 4 of them. 1 for water, 1 for food for each cat. You didn't do it. No excuse, ma'am.
It did pile up. Norma Jean, member, and there's no excuse for it. I'm just being a fucking slob. I'm sorry, and tomorrow I'm cleaning this fucking mess. Okay, I need to get
a little spoiler. She never cleaned her mess. Y'all want to hear something embarrassing? This woman who was in her late 30s actually called her mom to come clean her room. That's right. Her working mother calling on mom to come clean her room for her. How embarrassing and pathetic are you, Chantal?
I need to smoke. Like I'm sorry, but this is my nightly routine and I need to do it. Why am I low on weed? Maybe look around the floor. Oh no, I'm disgusting. I know. This is not going to happen in my new life. Yes, they have fresh food downstairs. She's going to be whiny.
That this is such a great retro react because you see the filth going on around Chantal. She's in Kuwait right now. And yet, here we are 2 years later. And I'm seeing things that I recognize from what she used to do back in the day at the villa. Like the amount of mess going on in the new place and keeping the condiments right there by the desk. That was something that she did during this time period. For some strange reason, Chantal had to have a mini fridge upstairs in her room, and she kept the ketchup and mustard and all that up there. Don't ask me why, but it was important to her. She just wanted everything up there so she wouldn't have to walk downstairs to get them from the fridge. Doing the same things in Kuwait that she's done at the villa. So as you can see, the present Chantal is actually the past Chantal. They're one and the same. She has not changed at all, not one iota. If she did, I'd give her credit, but I can't give credit to someone who hasn't changed anything.
Because she's old, and that's whiny. Older cats are whiny, from what I hear.
You know what? We know now why the cat was whiny. She wasn't whiny. She was in pain. And that was another disgusting thing with this woman. The amount of money she was making. And she couldn't be bothered to take care of her pets.
Spills tea on Foodie Beauty. Is that the one you're talking about? I was in his live stream. That's the stream I was in. Did he say I have no money while I was on panel? What's with the Roman talk right now? Why are we even talking about Roman? What happened? The one man I want to talk to is emotionally unavailable, but is super good in bed. And then the one who's super emotionally available, maybe a little too much, looks like Bob Hoskins. Why do you weirdos think I hate women? Like, what the fuck?
Because you do hate women. For those who are not aware, Chantal does not like other women. She hates anything that's female of any species, but especially human women because she looks at them as competition. She immediately she sees a woman and she gut checks herself and knows that she cannot measure up. That's her fault because she doesn't want to improve herself and make herself into a quality female. So because she does not want to improve herself, she feels insecure around anything female. She gets jealous. She gets nasty. You don't like other women, Chantal. You don't.
You hate anyone who tells you the truth. Yeah, the truth. The truth? Like what the video I'm about to watch of my lip reading, which is not the truth? Is that what you mean by the truth, Chip Skip? Can you come to streams prepared? Can you come to streams prepared, legal counsel, that I'm not prepared for anything?
And remember what I said about these are VIB streams. This is not open chat where there are trolls coming in for free. This is VIB chat. People paid their $5, and Chantal's talking this way to those people. The amount of money she was making made her arrogant. They made her mean and nasty. A lot of the diehard VIBs that really supported Chantal, that were with her for a long time, they disappeared because they felt unappreciated. They were tired of the nonsense. They were tired of the lies. They were tired of the cycling. They were tired of the empty promises. They were tired of being scammed out of money. They were tired of a lot of things. And Chantal's just reached a place right now where she keeps telling herself in her head, like, if I lose everybody, I can rebuild. If I lose everybody, I can rebuild to another audience. Not very likely, because the amount of people that are interested in you, that are invested in you, are getting less and less, Chantal. You hopped on board the mukbang trend and you rode that sucker. You rode it like a horse. But that trend has died out. And it used to be a thing to watch you and Amberlynn read, but interest in that has gone down. And again, it's not the reactor's fault. You and Amber have just reached a place where you're both so entitled yet boring that you don't want to do any interesting content nor improve yourselves. And so the audience is saying, we don't want to watch these two people who are destroying themselves when they don't have to, and we're out. You know, you and Amber both drove your channels and yourselves to that place, and there's nothing we can do.
Are about nothing. Sorry, I don't have other people's content to rip off, so it's not easy for me, you know. Well, looks like Alex has shook learn how to do it. Whenever he's not talking about me, what's he doing? Eating a fucking burrito in his car. Who was criticizing me of that too? Huh? Oh, reaction channels? All she does is eat in her car. Well, what do you think you're doing when you don't have me to talk about? Huh? Eating a burrito in your car. No rage blocking. No, I'm not. I need all the fucking money I can. We know Roman told everybody. Told everybody what? Okay, I'm going to watch it. Just give me a minute. So I'm going on a tolerance break after this because I'm back to eating 1,000,000 milligrams a night.
Okay, more information for those who are not aware. So back during Crackhead Olympics, even before Crackhead Olympics started, when Chantal was interested in Natter had some ex-girlfriends who were of a smaller size than Chantal. Chantal wanted to be his main squeeze, be his main interest. So she got interested in Ozempic. Although Ozempic really isn't something for weight loss. It's there to control your blood sugar. Some people do lose weight on Ozempic, but that usually happens when you pair it up with, say, diet and exercise. You can lose about, I say, 20 or so pounds. Chantal obviously needs to lose more than 20 pounds, but she tried the Ozempic. She showed that on her channel. She didn't like the way it made her feel, and she's a very impatient person. It was taking too long to work, and it wasn't going to work as long as she wasn't doing the diet and exercise. So what was the next step? The next step was the, powdering her nose, the Coca-Cola. And she got heavily into that. And she developed a huge habit with that, to the tune of, and she told us this herself, and it might have actually been more, $4,000 spent on Coca-Cola. This does not include other party favors that she might have bought for herself, things that she bought Natter. This does not include all the many trips to the green store and ordering things online, ordering the wheelchair edibles. Because if she wasn't doing the white powder to keep herself awake and give herself energy, she would be smoking the green all day long. So she would do excessive amounts of the white powder all day long, be streaming like a maniac all day, all night long. But then when she wanted to come down, she would smoke the green or do the edibles, which would kick the eating monster into high gear. And she would have a bee moment that sometimes would last for hours. But during this time period, because of the excessive amount of white powder, she lost, I think, like 50, 70 pounds. And you could honestly tell that she lost weight because you could see more of the cheekbones. You could see more of her ears popping up, like more plaster to the sides of her head. But due to the bee moments, it kind of counteracted that. But that was the only time I've seen Chantal lose weight. But using something not good to get those results. And then she gained all the weight back and then some.
So after my last pack, I'm going to be done. All right, what are you talking about, Roman? I was on his live stream today, so I heard everything he said. Oh, okay, let's see this video about what I'm lip syncing. Lip reading Foodie Beauty's conversation with Pete. What did she say? The fact that you're going an extra layer or an extra fucking step to try to read my fucking mouth is insane. Roman.
Chantal gets so angry with Girl World, with the reactors. But you know what, Chantal? There's always two sides to things. Where there is a top, there is a bottom. Where there is dark, there is light. That's the balance of things. You are a tremendous liar. You do not know how to tell the truth. You don't want to tell the truth. So to balance that out, there are those who are looking for the truth. Those of us that we want to know the truth to all of your lies. We want to fill in all the empty holes that your lies leave behind to make sense of the insanity. So we look for the truth wherever we can find it, wherever it may be. Chantal doesn't like mirrors. Never has. I'm not just talking about physical mirrors like the kind you would find in your bathroom, but anything that might reflect herself back to her. She doesn't like her own reflection. She doesn't like anyone reminding her of who she is and what she's done. And she's always trying to rewrite history and erase the reflection, pretend it wasn't there, pretend it isn't there. Always hiding from her reflection. Even now, today, she doesn't want to see herself and she doesn't want to fix herself. That's why she uses all the filters, because the filters give a false image of who she is versus her looking at herself for what and who she actually is. She really doesn't like herself at all. But she hates Girl World for finding little bits of truth, because as much as she likes to believe she's a really good liar, she's not that good. If she were really, really good, she wouldn't get caught as much. But she's such a bad liar, and she tells so many lies and so many stupid stories that make no sense. She's constantly getting caught and getting called out. If she didn't lie, there'd be nothing to catch. But since she lies so much, she's always getting caught and she's always getting mad about it.
Roman spills tea. I realized talking to a lot of people from Morocco lately and from different parts of the world, a lot of cultures are very transphobic. And I'm not excusing it because I don't agree with it 100%. Obviously, homophobia, transphobia, more closed-mindedness in a lot of parts of the world. Secondly, I'm not hiring Roman to move me. I was mostly joking. I was a little seriously considering it, but I think you guys are right, considering the history he and I have. I don't think there is a relationship of trust there. I will say he is very clout chasing. Just like I have tea, I have receipts, like, and that's what my problem was with him in the first place, was whenever I was like, I lost my channel, that being said, I don't want to like talk shit about him and dog him, because I don't feel like normal people can handle that kind of shit. I feel like I'm too trusting sometimes. Not making excuses for trust.
Let's go back to the history of Chantal's men for just a second. Let's go all the way back to the ones that I know about. First, there was BB. BB really didn't want to be on camera. He wanted nothing to do with YouTube, and especially doing stuff with Chantal, yet Chantal pushed BB to be on YouTube because she wanted to brag about having a man in her life. Then, of course, there was Pete's. Pete's really wasn't too wild about being on YouTube. Chantal kept after him and after him and after him to quit his job and join her on YouTube. And then when something happened and he no longer had a job, once he got on camera with her, it didn't take any time at all for Chantal to do what she did with BB, which was, like, at first she was excited to have BB on camera. And then after that, she would talk down about BB while he was in the house, rolling her eyes and sighing and being annoyed if he had gotten home from work and just wanted to play his video games or a movie. Pete's kind of got the same treatment. She just quickly got annoyed with Pete's, rolling her eyes and not wanting him to be there. Then there was Natter. Again, same cycle. You've got the newness of the situation, being excited, being fascinated, and then the new feeling wears off, the new car smell wears off, and being annoyed at the person, being mean to the person. But always trying to find someone to come on camera with her and be her co-pilot. She's always wanted that. She's always wanted a co-pilot situation. She doesn't want a woman co-pilot, like two female friends doing stuff together. It's always got to be a man that's madly in love with her and is so obsessed with her. Yet she's picked a series of men. Not a single one of them were enthralled with her. But she still wanted that man there. So we have BB, Pete, Natter, Salah. Not a single one has been attached to Chantal. And they've all, except with the exception of BB, they've all been around her because financially they were compensated or she took care of them. That's the only way a man was able to go on camera with her. They weren't going on camera because they wanted anything to do with YouTube. It was because she begged them or she paid them.
Transphobia based on culture. I'm not trying to excuse it. I'm just trying to understand it, I guess. I think we can just all talk about ideas without attacking each other. What should we order? Oh, I gotta stop ordering. I'm poor.
And for those who might be wondering, who is Roman? Roman L. Roman. He was in the Foodieverse very, very briefly. Chantal was, in essence, trying to turn Roman into Natter 2.0. Doing videos with him, showing him on camera, helping him with his channel, urging people to go to his channel and join up, doing the exact same tactics that she did with all the other men in her life. Integrating herself into his life, trying to act as if they had something going, which they didn't. And when the moment that Roman said that, no, there's nothing going on between us, she dropped him pretty quickly. She wanted the illusion that something was going on. It's like either go along with the Chantal program and pretend like she's the best thing walking on 2 feet, or you're going to get dropped. There is no in between.
Chantal, you have 3 weeks until payday. And I don't want my boyfriend to look like Bob Hoskins. I want the other guy who I had sex with 4 times. And now I have to wait 2 weeks to see him again. Is that kind of weird when I like when a man touches my belly? Uh-oh. I have a feeder fetish. There's something sensual about being fed, actually. Maybe I am a feeder fetish lady.
Well, I didn't expect that. I just pulled up this video because I saw like he was talking about our viewers and talking down to him. I didn't expect this little bonus. Chantal's been catering to the feeders for years, y'all. Literal years. She started out doing regular content on YouTube, and then once she started attracting all the feeder people, she decided to cater more to them, both on YouTube and off. And there's so much evidence of that, and I've told you guys the different examples. The Lakma fairy, the Paneer guy, her getting caught on a feeder site with a feeder profile, which once she found out the Kiwi farmers found out about it, she got rid of it. One of the feeders coming into her chat and saying, thanks for the talk last night. There was another lady who posted a video on YouTube a while back saying that her boyfriend wanted her, the girlfriend, to get fat and do feeder stuff because he was going to Chantal and Hungry Fat Chick and getting content from them. I mean, there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff. She's turned her channel into a fetish channel. And I think the more feeders she attracts, the more business she does off of YouTube, the more it makes her lazy on YouTube. And it promotes this attitude of, I'm making money offline. I'm making it right away and I'm making it quick. I really don't care about YouTube. I don't care about my YouTube channel. YouTube is just an open, free portal to get in front of the feeders to attract them so I can make the better side money in private, having them contact me on Instagram or contact me on Cameo or maybe get paid through PayPal. And that's how it works. Problem is, let's just say Chantal has a bunch of feeders, right? Which she might. You know, it's been 8 years. She might have a client list of people that she can call on or call upon her that ask her for regular content. When it comes to addiction, if you have a really nasty habit with something, and I'm going to, just to make it less triggering, I'm going to use something really benign as an example. Let's just say you have an addiction for cotton balls. I know it's silly, just follow me. So let's just say you have an addiction for cotton balls. You start out just needing 20 cotton balls a day, just touching them. Then a week after that, you need 40. A month later, you need 200. A month later after that, you need 6,000. Now take the cotton ball comparison and replace that with food. Her food habit is so great. It's so out of control that she needs more and more and more and more and more to satisfy that bee monster. The last time she spoke to us about her food habit, and I'm not kidding when I say this, y'all, she did a live stream where she said that her food habit, she was spending upwards of $4,000 or $5,000 a month on food. And remember, it's for one person. This does not count her junk food because she likes her snacks. She likes her sweets. This does not count the trips she did to Starbucks. This does not count her trips to the outhouse. If you know, you know. This does not count her going to dispensary and spending literally thousands at the dispensary. I'm telling you, she was making some serious money back in the day and just spending it like it was nothing. But that food habit is crazy. There's no telling where it is now. You know, the more you do, the more you need. So she gets on YouTube, and despite all these mukbangs and things that she's doing, she's eating through what money she makes. So she's really not making any headway. It's just eating for a little bit of cash that she turns around and puts back into her habit to keep it satisfied. Do I think she's getting high off the food anymore? No. I don't think she's getting the same dopamine hit. I think she's taxed out that part of her brain with the dopamine. She's not doing it to get high. She's not doing it to feel good. She's just doing it, to make money, to pay for different things, to pay for her food habit, and that's about it.
I need to be with a feeder. I would be happy.
Here's the problem with that. Would it be suitable for Chantal to be with a feeder? Maybe. Problem is, Chantal, she's got an ego and she's vain and narcissistic. She would never accept into her life anyone who was a lot like her. She would never accept a man in her life that was super morbidly obese, vulgar, gross, eating all the time. She would never accept a man who is the male version of herself. She wants the complete opposite. She wants the unobtainable. She wants the impossible. I'm not saying that a bigger woman can't be with a smaller man. You certainly can. It's just that it's not about size here. It's about what's inside of you, your character, how you carry yourself. She doesn't carry herself very well. She's got no moral compass, no values, no nothing. She's not a nice person. Those things by themselves would cross her off of a lot of men's lists as far as a potential partner. Besides, when you have a partner in life, yes or no, you're picking someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with, that you know they're going to be there a while. With someone like Chantal, with all of her health issues, you don't know what's going to happen with her day to day. How can any man put his heart into somebody not knowing if that person is going to end up in the hospital or the morgue in a week?
I don't want to gain weight, but I don't want someone to force me to lose weight. And I want someone to also feel sensual about my fatness. It's common for Middle Eastern men to sleep around, especially married men. It's acceptable and normal. I love men. Did I ever tell you that? The more the merrier. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of like Kurds who are seeking asylum here, and they're all new here, and they're barely just new here. And I'm just being nice and friendly as a welcoming Canadian woman. They're all staying at this one house. I'm not taking advantage of poor refugees.
Okay, that's just gross. I'm feeling a sense of ick right now. Have I not said that Chantal's a predator? I meant it, and I really mean it right now. This woman has such predatory ways, always preying on the weak or the unfortunate or those who are financially hurting in order to get something. Attention, love, looking for weak people. She's a weak person who looks for weaker people. She finds out what the weaknesses are and she preys upon those weaknesses. Oh, you don't have a job, you don't have money. I got money. All you got to do is make me happy. Just, she's not nice. Okay, this is YouTube. I got to be careful with what I say because I could say a lot right now. But you're such a predatory person, Chantal. You're gross.
I'm just helping out. Yeah, I should have given the edible time to kick in. Fuck. High dose edibles are probably bad for a lot of shit. I gotta cut it out. I'm just relaxing till I feel a bit better and then I'm gonna be okay. You were trying to put down BBJ. No, I'm not trying to, but I don't want her to fucking suffer. I don't want her to she fucking like she's always crying, she's whiny, she's kind of limpy. She's old. I don't want her.
Yeah, and we know now what was going on with BBJ. There was a reason why all that was going on. And even though Chantal had the money, she didn't take her to the vet to see what is going on. What can I do to help? And you guys are going to see in one of the clips here that even though Chantal was making $20,000, $30,000 a month, so many people were concerned for the cats, considering the conditions they were living in and what was going on with them. The fact that Chantal, despite all the money she was making, she kept running out of food for the cats. She made sure she was fed, but she wasn't making sure to feed them. One of her viewers, Vegan for Life, actually sent, I believe it was $200 or $300 for a vet visit. Did Chantal take that money and take BBJ to the vet? Nope. She just put it in pocket and said, oh, you gave it to me. It's mine. I can do what I want with it. So intentional, cruel neglect. And Chantal also said something that I will never forget. She said, I am purposely not taking my cats to the vet because it pisses off my haters. Yeah, she said that. What kind of a monster do you have to be to deny your own pets care for the sake of YouTube, for the sake of making girl world angry? You're going to let them be uncomfortable and suffer for the internet? Girl, there's a special level of hell just for you, and they're waiting on you.
To suffer because cats, you don't know if they're suffering really, but she still eats. So I'm looking for signs of that, you know. Suppose you didn't lose it.
You know what's beautiful? You know what's really beautiful? I love karma. I absolutely love karma. You guys want to know why I love karma? Because what you do to others gets done to you sometimes. Some of the suffering that Chantal put on little BBJ has come back around to boomerang her right in the ass. Let's think about some of the things that went on with little BBJ. Kidney issues. Who has kidney issues now? And who's been having them for a while? You, Chantal. Little BBJ had issues with her feet, which were not her fault. And all it would have taken was just taking her to a groomer's and having the nails clipped for $10. Who's got issues with their feet now? You. Not feeling good? You don't feel good either. Isn't it funny how karma works like that? Yeah. So you were talking about BBJ and saying, oh, she's suffering and maybe I should put her down because she's old and she's sick. Well, you're old and sick. What should we do with you, Chantal? Should we apply the same philosophy to you? I wonder.
It over the kibbles today. I didn't lose it. I fully admit that's fucking despicable that it's like that. And I'm going to clean it tomorrow first thing because I can barely stand up, alien. That's why I'm waiting for the morning. There's fresh crunchies in the dish. I don't know. Their fucking heads fling the food everywhere too. She still gets around good. She does, but she falls over a lot. She's more frail. How are you going to take care of 4 cats? Well, it's going to be a split job between us two. We're going to have to really pull up our socks. Kind of falls over a little bit. Yeah, she's wobbly. And that's been a while. I told the vet about that already. I'm concerned that
The wobbliness was probably because of the ingrown nails in her feet, you bitch. And I'm a cat owner. You guys know that. I mean, you have a pet. You can tell when they're not walking right. She could tell. She just didn't care.
I'm letting her suffer. That's my concern. I don't want her to hurt or be in pain. Well, thank God you don't work. It should be easy, girl. I do work, and I'm going to be working a lot more. But you're right. I'm lucky that I work from home so that I can be with the cats. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys, like, just in this clip right here, we're 7 minutes in. It's 10 minutes. So for anybody on Chantal's side of the pasture, just in this 7-minute clip, can you see part of the reasons why we as reactors, we're people, we're humane, we have our humanity, why we don't like her? You know, she's living in filth. She's making her cats live in filth. She's a lazy, disgusting slob, making her own pets live not only in filth, but in suffering. And that's just absolutely cruel. There's no reason for it. There's no excuse for it. There's nothing she could say that could explain it away. She was making good money. If she didn't want to do something, she could hire other people to do the things that either she couldn't do or she didn't want to do. And she just would make those phone calls. Like she's there at home. She has no outside the house job. She could stay home and clean her doggone house. She got all the time in the world. There's no reason for those pets to be living the way that they were. They should have clean water and food dishes, cleaned out litter boxes. I mean, once you clean it all up, you can maintain it. It won't take that long. She just didn't want to do it, and she didn't want to hire anybody else to do it. And Pete's in the house. Yes, he's the roommate. Yes, those were her cats. Even as the roommate, just out of common decency, he could have cleaned. He never did. So you got 2 useless bags of human meat in the house, neither one of them doing anything except enabling each other in the worst way.
That needed diapers. Oh, wow. No, I would draw the line there. That would be it. Sorry. I would put the cat down. I don't even take care of myself some days, size queen, but I do take care of them. I mean, some days, yeah, their food could be tidier. Chantal, the next time you eat, you should eat in the same corner of gross that you make your cats eat in. Hello? Do you don't fucking think I do? Do you know the rottenest banana ever is beside me? I'm kidding.
That she's talking about the mummified food in the drawer. Again, no excuse for that. There's no excuse for any of that filth. None.
Okay, guys, we just ordered some food, so I take really good fucking care of my cats. Well,
obviously not.
No, actually, okay. Lately, no, I haven't been doing the best. So I do feel ashamed. And when I seen that picture of, it's not funny. When I seen that picture, I felt fucking ashamed of my living condition. So tomorrow, she's not sleeping on my clean bed.
You know, Chantal is the kind of person, she doesn't feel a true sense of shame and regret for what she does. But she gets angry when she gets caught and when she gets called out. There's no sense of, wow, I did this and I shouldn't have done it. And I'm really, really sorry. And it won't happen again. I'm going to do my best to make sure it doesn't happen again. It's just immediately going on the defensive. Like, you don't tell me what to do and you're not living here and how dare you. Yet she chose to broadcast what was going on with her 8 to 12 hours a day, living in filth, making her cats live in filth, being high all the time. And nobody's supposed to say anything bad about that or have any kind of negative opinion or express their opinion somewhere, whether it's in her chat or off her chat. I mean, if you live your life in a certain way and if you make it public, you put it on a free space like YouTube and you say, look at me, look at what I'm doing, look at how I'm living, people are going to have their opinions.
We are going to clean this fucking pigsty. I'm not telling you guys a single detail about the arrangement I have with my landlords because I'll tell you something right now. The fuck?
And again, I gotta say it. You see how she is, you see how she's living, the way she's acting. Does anybody believe that somebody who lived this way could completely change into a completely opposite persona within a matter of a couple of years? Just go from one side of the spectrum to the other successfully with no therapy, no inpatient, no counseling, no nothing to fix the bad habits, to fix the addictions. No, not possible. Like, she really enjoys being gross and nasty and disgusting. It's just who she is.
Let's just see what I look like with the wig. This is the wig I had on the floor closest to me. Omegle? No.
Yeah, she kept her wigs on the floor. How sanitary.
Plenty of Fish is better, but I don't know how to like do that roulette thing. You want me to do Omegle bees? I'll just be like, how old are you? And if they're young, I'm just gonna, you guys won't be able to see it.
Oh, okay. So for those who are wondering, what is she talking about? This was her talking about Omegle or Omegle. It's a site where mostly young people go to talk. And she wanted to go on there and talk to people. She got the idea from another content creator who made recorded videos, not lives. And this person, this young lady, she got permission from people that she talked to put them in a video. She asked their permission. And she made the videos that they weren't lives just in case something happened. But Chantal thought, oh, I can just go live and talk to people and make that my live content. And then the incident with the young man showing off his private part happened, and she got in trouble for it. But Chantal was on Omegle, dressed inappropriately, dressed in a lingerie, much like she is now. It just really creepy, icky vibes, you know?
What terms of service would I be breaking doing that if you guys cannot see anything? You guys are seriously, okay, I am despicable, okay? Since when do you care about breaking terms of service? Since I lost my channel once. I want to go and try out for Canadian Idol. I think I want to impersonate Madonna, like when I was a kid, when I freaking grew up doing.
You know, that's something funny about Chantal. Chantal wants to be somebody. She's always wanted to be somebody. She wanted to be somebody famous. What she got was being infamous. There's a difference. Famous is when you are something or you do something that other people look up to and admire and say, wow, I wish I had their life. Or, wow, they're really talented in whatever way they're talented. She wanted to be someone that other people give attention to, admire, look up to. But she's just the opposite of that. She is despicable. She spent the last 8 years being despicable and disgusting in every way. You're not a public persona, Chantal. You're not known. You've got a channel on YouTube. You have your audience on YouTube, which is starting to shrink. People are bored. Even the reactors are getting bored. You're not doing anything. You know what you need to do to fix it. You just don't want to do it. But those people in the world that are famous, that have money, they've got the lifestyle that maybe you look up to and you want to be, they got it by hard work, by applying themselves the right way and going after their goals the right way. And you avoid work like the plague. You don't want to work. You think, I can get everything in life by not working. Well, how's that working out for you? Seriously, how's it working out? And I don't think it's working out very well. I see you going down the hole, not getting out of it. You'll never be famous, Chantal. You'll always be infamous. And for you to change from what you are now to a completely different person, that's going to take years. And that's only if you want to change, which I don't think you do, because I think you're denying the truth to yourself. You are denying yourself. You are living in a world of delusion and fantasy. And you keep telling yourself there's nothing wrong with me when there's everything wrong with you. You are an addict with several different issues, different layered addictions, none of which have been treated, none of which you're in recovery for. And the situation is only getting worse. Much worse.
I said I can impersonate people. Do you think that looks good for fall? No, the red is not right. Huh? Smoking on YouTube against the frooms? Y'all, they don't monetize my videos when I smoke. I do want to apologize for the state of my living conditions right now. I'm just waiting on my food, but after I eat, I'm going to bed. So he's not married. Like, he's not in a relationship like you think with his wife. Like, technically he's married.
About when she had allegedly, because Chantal lies, you can't tell if she's telling the truth or not. According to Chantal, she was having a little fling affair thing with a married man. His wife was out of the country, so Chantal was trying to rationalize it, justify it by saying, oh, they're in an arranged marriage and she's in a different country, therefore he's not really cheating, therefore it's okay. And she's justifying it like that because she herself is a serial cheater. She cheated on Pete several times. She cheated on BB. This woman's legs was open like the 7-Eleven, open for anybody, open for business. She didn't know how to keep her legs closed, always running around looking for validation in the wrong areas with the wrong people. Instead of looking for the validation inside, looking for it outside of herself. Men and food and attention on YouTube and all that. She's all over the place.
He talked about something about marriage anyway, so maybe he can still get married. I don't know. I don't want to be in a relationship with him, but of all the men that I'm talking to right now who are emotionally available and stable, he's the one I think of the most because the intimacy was so good. Why is it always that the intimacy is always the best with the most fucked up ones? Why? Like, it's not sustainable. It's not cool. You don't have anxiety meeting random men for sex? I know, it's different somehow. I'm super excited to move, and I'm going to talk more about it tomorrow. Maybe we could do a Q&A or something. Anyway, love you guys, okay? And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Okay, so that was the first video. That was the first example of why the reactors don't like her. The girl world, we don't like her. We don't like her at all. Let's see. Where should we go next? I think we'll start here. Foodie Beauty rages at viewers again. It's a good one. Okay. Let me just get out of here. Oh, oops. Sorry about that. My apologies. This was when she was taking a bit of a drive. And remember, this is her talking to her VIBs. She was all up in her feelings, all up in her arrogance. Yes, she was. So let's go.
Promises. I know it would benefit me to have a schedule. I know that. But I've just been going to bed really late. Imagine giving that excuse to your employer. Hey, yeah, I had too many Leffe beers last night and a bees. I have a case of the bees and hangover. I can't come in. I bees too hard last night. As long as we've got 5 VIBs, let us bees, let us bees, let us be.
Yeah, that was something that she said a lot. I don't care if I have 5 VIBs. I'm okay with that. No, she's not okay with that. That she's so not okay with that. Given the amount of food this woman eats, the amount of food it takes to satisfy that bee monster, which is now, it's not even a bee monster anymore. It is Godzilla, a kaiju. She's got a Foodzilla in her head, and that sucker keeps growing and growing and growing. And the amount of food it takes to satisfy her appetite is crazy.
Nothing can ruin my mood today, VIBs. Not even saying, oh, we're all hanging out with FFG today. Or, we want to see you, we want to be in the Discord. Nothing. We've unsubscribed. Last day is January 31st and I'm never coming back. Nope. None of that will ruin my mood.
Oh, yeah. Like, I remember this. So a lot of her VIBs were just ticked off at her. They were ticked off at her attitude. They were ticked off at the cycling. They were ticked off at just the way she was behaving and raging at them all the time. So some of them decided, you know what? Let's make a Discord. A lot of her VIBs would come into her chats because they just wanted to talk to each other, not so much to Chantal. Chantal was just background noise. So there was talk about a Discord being created so they could talk for free to each other and not pay the membership. And they came up with this great light bulb idea, and Chantal did not like it. She didn't like the idea that they came up with where they could talk to each other in a space where she would not be present. They could say what they want without being blocked, and they wouldn't be giving her their $5.
Mood today, friends. The appointment. The secretary wasn't supposed to schedule people today between 1 and 5. So I'm rescheduled for Tuesday. Chantal, why did Pete write a novel about the... I don't think that happened. What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so for those who don't know about that, Pete's her ex-fiance boyfriend of 5 years. Yeah, it was discovered that he wrote, and I have to say it this way because of YouTube, grape fiction. Chantal just seems to have a knack, a negative knack for finding really unsavory people to hang out with and be involved with. People that have a criminal past, people who, like Pete's, wrote great fiction. She also modded for PDF files like Cyrax and Dragon Lord Frodo. There was her mod Karate Joe that was exposed for being a PDF file. I mean, just every single guy that she puts her hooks into or she has an interest in, there's something going on in their life that makes them predators or unsavory. But it would figure in, you know, she's a predator herself. So like attracts like. Yeah, kind of something like that.
I swear. I'm single, you know. And I'm a catch. I feel like getting a Twisty Misty and Starbucks. There are some people who are like that. Like
Chantal, I wouldn't exactly call you a catch. There's no net big enough in the world to catch you. I'm just saying.
Love coffee. Like a little too much. Kind of like how I love food. I eat too much food, everybody. You can change all the underwear you want. These are beauty. But if you're not washing the beast, here comes Pete. I'm gonna mute just in case he says something he shouldn't. What do you mean, Dandy? I didn't see that. I don't pay attention to FFG. Why the hell?
That's a lie. She pays nothing but attention to FFG. And I love the fact that FFG is such a thorn in her side and has been for a long time. I love it. I love it. I love it the most.
Okay. She's like watching wood chips. I don't have to answer to anybody. I do what I want. Super chats and ass pats. That sounds good to me, Patsy. BBJ vets. Yeah, I guess I'm a scammer then. I guess so. I'm not giving Vegan for Life her money back. So
that's her what I talked about earlier. Vegan for Life giving the money for the vet visit. Chantal never took the cats. Didn't even take them to say a groomer's and get them combed out, bathed, get the mats out of their fur. None of that. She did. Imagine somebody making $20,000, $30,000 a month, someone who's got more money than most of the people in her audience. Yet one of the audience members who makes less than her giving up $300 so that Chantal could take the cats to the vet for free. And she doesn't do it. A free vet visit. It never gets done. No excuses, Chantal. You could have hired a mobile groomer or a mobile vet to take care of some of that, and you did not. You just used the money for food.
So if you hate me for that, I don't care. She did not say when to take BBJ to the vets. She said this is for BBJ vets. So when I take BBJ to the vet, which by the way, what, hasn't even been like a month, or has it been like a month since?
A little side note. So Chantal put off taking BBJ to the vet. When Chantal was around Roman, who likes animals, I guess trying to get some points with Roman, she finally took BBJ to the vet. And certain things could have been done to help BBJ. Those things were not done. They were in the car. There was a live stream where a recorded message from the vet was played in the car. And the vet even said that BBJ needed to come back for dental care or surgery or something as soon as possible. And Chantal never did it. Never did it. Couldn't be bothered.
She sent the super chat. I will use it for that. Otherwise, like I said, if you send super chats, you don't have a right to demand what I do with it. Just accept that your money's lost if you send it. I think it's non-refundable. And that's it. Too bad. Sorry. I don't feel bad, actually. A lot of people were like...
This is her confessing that even if you send money to Chantal for something, for a specific purpose, she's going to do what she wants with it. Essentially just confessing that she rips her viewers off. She's ripping people off. They're saying, hey, we're going to pay for certain things, and she'll take the money and then not spend the money where the viewers, why they're donating. And she wonders why she doesn't get many super chats these days. Well, if you rip enough people off, Chantal, if you lie to a great number of people over an extended amount of years, you turn enough people off, soon you're left with no audience. You know, the feeling is you as a person, you are not honest. You scam people, you lie to people, you con people, you make empty promises. You have no interest in improving yourself whatsoever. You have no interest in good health. Your only interest is satisfying the feeders and making that feeder money and using your YouTube channel as a portal to find more feeders. In my opinion, what we're looking at when we look at Chantal is we're watching a snuff film in very slow motion. We're watching somebody slowly unalive themselves. And I have to wonder, seriously, if Chantal hopes that if she has a medical emergency, it's going to happen live. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I have no interest in that. I am not a morbid person. I think it would be too traumatic for a lot of people online. It'd be too much. But Chantal's interested in digging a deeper hole, not getting out of the hole that she's in and getting closer to the topsoil. She wants to go dig deeper, 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 deeper. And she wants everyone to watch her and subscribe to her for that.
Like, I don't think you should give the money back. That's ridiculous that she's demanding. Like, you didn't say when to take BBJ to the vet. You just said for BBJ vet. Well, if you send me money, you guys have to realize.
You know what? Shut up, Chantal. You know what's crazy? BBJ and Sam were your cats. You're supposed to be their guardian. It is your responsibility, yours, to take care of your pets, to provide for their care and their medical care. Make sure they have all their needs met. Make sure they have proper food and clean water and space to run around in. Just everything in the world to be healthy. Why is it the responsibility of your audience to provide certain things for your pets? Do you see how wrong that is? It's absolutely wrong. to make your audience so stressed out that some of them, because they're so stressed out, they're willing to send you money just to get some emotional relief, knowing that the cats are a little bit better off because you're not going to do it. And another thing, that was something that Chantal liked to do with the cats. In essence, she liked to keep people emotionally stressed out and in a state of duress. That was the way that she kept people tuning in to her live streams. It wasn't about her after a while. It was about the cats. Everybody worried about the cats. Are they okay? Do they have food? Are they all right? She used the cats being unhealthy, living in those filthy conditions to keep people tuning in to her live streams. I mean, it's monstrous and it's evil to think that way, to act that way, but that's what she did. That's how awful she is. And that's one of the reasons why Girl World does not like her. Because it takes a special kind of dark and evil to think that and to do that.
It is going to whatever I want it to go to. So, yes. Okay, thanks. So they can F off and shame me all you want, vegan for life. But sorry, I'll take BBJ to the vets, okay? When I want, not when you want.
And this big stupid idiot sandwich with the bacon, egg, and cheese, she doesn't understand. You know, like not everybody that comes to her chat is going to send her super chats. So here's this person, vegan for life. Not only are they sending a super chat, but a bigger than normal super chat. This is where she's cutting off her nose to spite her face. This person, vegan for life, is not only super chatting, but being extremely generous and extremely caring. And if Chantal had played her cards right, if she had done right by Vegan for Life and taken the cats to the vet, there might have been another super chat after that. And after that, and after that, and after that. Instead of taking advantage of people and taking them for granted and just taking the money and giving nothing back, if she had given something back, she might have some support even today. And if you do good people wrong, eventually you lose them and they don't come back. They have no reason to come back.
So have a seat. I think that's just the attitude I'm going to have with my channel in general. Like, I know a lot of you hate Natter, and sure, that's my fault. Okay, now vegan for life, you're just being paranoid weirdo. I don't have your bank details. What are you talking about? Okay, all aboard. You need to stop spamming right now, or I'm blocking you. If you refuse to take them to the vet, rehome them. Like I said, animal services is...
And that was something that happened a lot too. A lot of people were saying, hey, Chantal, you want to be with Natter? If you don't care about your pets anymore, just do the right thing. Find a home for them. And you can go off and be with Natter as much as you want. But for some reason, Chantal did not want to give the cats up. And I think it plays into her narcissistic, selfish soul of, I don't want it, but I don't want anybody else to have it. Or maybe she was afraid that the person who got the pets would come back on YouTube and after taking them to the vet and report back just how bad off they were, which is exactly what happened with FFG. You know, that's what happened with FFG. Chantal kept denying that there was nothing wrong with BBJ. Then FFG got little BBJ, and then we found out the list of things that were wrong that took months and months and months and months to halfway fix. And Chantal had an absolute meltdown, not because she missed BBJ, not because she loved her. The rage that happened had to do with her ego and her pride. She got exposed. Her ego was bruised and dented, and she just couldn't handle it. The worst of her evils was exposed, and there was nothing she could do about it. And honestly, it was her fault. If she had taken care of the cats the way that she should have, there'd be nothing to expose. You know, that whole situation, I look at that as karma too. If you hurt someone or something to a severe degree, if you're just that evil, every once in a while, karma's going to step in and there's going to be some divine intervention, which there was.
Has been there twice, wasted their time twice, because not spending 24 hours a day with your cats doesn't mean you're a bad pet owner. Deal with it. Bye. So, and actually, Nader had a good point about this, though, with the same attitude I'm going to have for my channel. It's my channel. At the end of the day, you are allowed to dislike what I do. You're allowed to have an opinion. You can leave. You can hate me. You can do whatever. And there's always going to be people. I can't make everyone happy. There's always going to be people who.
And see this video. Okay, we're giving the receipts now. 2 years ago. This was 2 years ago. She was saying the same things that she's saying today. If you don't like it, you can leave. I don't care. She was saying this for the entire year she was with Nader. She's saying it now. She told people to leave, and people left. And now she's upset because people did what she told them to do. She told them literally to F off, so they F'd off to other areas of YouTube, to the reaction channels. And she's angry because the reaction channels are doing okay. We're doing well, getting lots of engagement. And it's her fault that she's not getting the engagement. She only wants a hug box. She only wants yes men. She only wants the feeders in her chat. She doesn't care about any positive people in there giving her advice. She turns off the comments to her community posts, to her videos. She deletes her videos. I mean, she's doing everything wrong as far as channel growth. And she's at the point now where in order to increase her sub count, she's got to either buy subs or go to other channels like Takats to get, inflated subs. When all this time, if she had done quality content, her channel would have grown organically, and the people that she had back then would still be around.
Who are okay with something, who are not okay with something. And there might be some things that none of you are okay with. But at the end of the matter, and I still want to do a live stream, and I do it there, and like, well, no matter where I am, if I want to live stream, I'm going to live stream. And I'm not going to make a.
You never took her. You never took BBJ to the vet. Didn't want to spend the money on her. You wanted to spend it on yourself, you selfish bitch. Couldn't spend $100 to $200 on BBJ because in your little tiny brain, you thought, oh, that's money I could spend on food. Always thinking about yourself. And yet you wouldn't do the right thing and rehome the pets to other people who had the time, the money, the love, the attention that both those cats needed. You let them just run around in absolute neglect and filth just to say, oh, they're my cats, and try to use them for deflection.
How good her health is, or that's what they think she looks like. So, zip it, shut it. I don't want to fucking hear it. Thank you. Well, Brooke, you don't have to watch the streams that I'm in him with if you don't like it. I know you don't like it. You tell me every 5 minutes. Look like Mama June's. The tree is really sad. It's depressing. What? It's kind of festive, right? Well, Penny, I don't really feel in the Christmas spirit, so that would be why. I just have my mind. I'm not ignoring you. With him. Alex K, he found the time to give you the clap. Touche. Touche. You guys are not gonna be happy until I freaking am gone from there.
I don't know if Chantal has natural tics, but she seemed to get them more when she was doing more of the party favors. And also, another tell that Chantal was doing the party favors, especially the nose kind. When you got that drip in the back of your throat, she would do a lot of constantly and blowing her nose. She wouldn't stop blowing her nose. And she blamed it on allergies, even though she never went outside. And those allergies never popped up until she went over to Nader's and she came home for a live stream. Interesting, huh?
Guys, I don't know why. Maybe I'll come back a bit later. I'll cuddle with BBJ
for a video from Queen of WTF. What else we got here? Let me see here. I'm looking. Let me just get out of full screen of this one video. Excuse me. Okay. All right. Let me just look here. Looking for a good one. I've got a few pulled up here. One moment, please. I think I have it. One moment. Okay, so this one is called Foodie Beauty, Deleted Rage and the Tears That Followed. Like I said, you know, she was the queen of the dirty delete. She figured out YouTube's system that if she wanted to vent, if she wanted to say something completely out of pocket and offensive and vulgar and against TOS, she could do it in a live stream, leave it up for an hour or two, and then get rid of it. By the time YouTube got around to it, it's gone, so she couldn't get in trouble with it. She figured her way around terms of service. So let's see what she has to say about everything here.
Trying very fucking hard to stay relevant so that they can sympathize with abusers and make shit up against the victim of abuse. So I'm the only fucking person, because you don't like me and I'm messy, that I deserve being abused, right? So I'm the only woman in the fuck.
Okay, shut up, Chantal. So this was another thing that drove her viewers mad. Here's this person, Chantal, claiming to be a DV victim, claiming to have gone through abuse. At the same time, she keeps running back to the guy that she claimed gave the abuse. Chantal had her own place to live, had her own car, had her own money, had her own job. Independent away from Natter. Did not live with him. Every time she saw him, she would have to drive over to his place. And even when he moved to Montreal to be with Dee Dee, she would spend a couple hours one way, a couple hours back, just to see him still. He moved as far away as he could from Chantal, and she followed him to Montreal to see him. Would make the trips. So claiming to be a victim of abuse, at the same time not being one. Claiming that somebody else is abusive, at the same time she is abusive because, as I said, she's a predator. Pointing a finger at other people for things that, in my opinion, she's guilty of, just to get the spotlight off her, so nobody's like thinking about what she's doing and how bad it is. Before YouTube, even before her channel, she had a history of just stalking, obsessive behavior. When she was young, she stalked two teenage boys to the point where the father came out of the house and said, if you don't get out of here, I'm calling the cops. I mean, she's been this way since for a very, very long time, and no therapy, no inpatient, no nothing to fix this. Okay? But she's the predator. She's the abusive one. I don't know about Natter. I know he's not a nice guy, but claiming all these things about him at the same time, there's quite a lot going on with her, obviously.
Fucking history of the world to go back to an abuser, because I'm gonna go up and live my life, and you're not invited. None of you. Fuck you all. Your videos are harassment and bullying. I'm coming for you all because I have life. Every time you do that, I'm back to it. But
Go ahead, react to us. Go ahead. Content for us all day, Big Mama. Do it. We're waiting. We've been waiting.
Myself. Now that I hate his guts, I fucking cannot believe people. Actually, I cannot believe people. I cannot believe he's on here. Like, I can't. And I knew this would happen. You know what?
She's mad because Natter has a channel, but who is the one that brought him to YouTube? Who is the one that created his channel for him? Who is the one who filmed the content and edited it and made the thumbnails and urged her audience to go sub to him? This man who was supposedly abusive. Hey, ladies, go sub to this abusive guy, this scammer. Join up on his channel. I totally recommend him. I put my stamp of approval. I know he's a womanizer. I know he's got a roaming eye and he's not into me, but I'm going to put him on YouTube on a public platform in front of everybody because I want a co-pilot just that bad. I'm going to integrate into his life so much that he can't get rid of me. Well, how'd that work out for you? You spend so much money on Natter. You did so many things thinking that everything you did would buy his love, and it didn't, because you can't buy love. You can't buy it. It's not for sale. Not the real thing anyway. You tried, and then when you couldn't get Natter, that's when you did the rebound thing, and you went to Salah. And in my opinion, you did that as a get back at Natter, Chantal. You want to get him back and also try to get him back. You wanted to show Natter, I could be a good Muslim wife. I'm the wifey material. But you also did a get back in a way. You're a very spiteful, vengeful person. You want to get back at Natter and say, everything I gave you, I can give to somebody else. Look, I'm going to spend my money on him, and I'm going to make a channel for us, and I'm going to just give him a bunch of gifts and give him a bunch of money and nanny boo boo, because you're childish inside. You think like a child. You act like a child. Childish. Even though you're an adult woman, you're still childish. So you want to get back at Natter and get him back. And to this day, I think you're still talking to him. Nothing is going to change my mind about that. I think you're still very much in contact with him. He's talking to you. He's keeping you on the string because you still got a little bit of money. And it doesn't matter if you got 5 nickels in your pocket. He wants them all. So he's going to keep talking to you. But if you were dead ass broke, he'd be gone. He wouldn't make time for you. Same thing with Salah. Money is the only reason either one of them are talking to you. It's not because of love. Neither one of them can stand you. The only way they can stand you if you pay them. They get some kind of monetary compensation. But Natter got with Dee Dee. So you decided to do a get back with Salah. Look, I got a man that's better looking than yours. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And from everything we've seen of Salah, he's not really a catch, is he? He's a loser. Not bringing much to the table. You sure know how to pick him, ma'am.
What the least I can do is help him make a platform since I ruined his reputation. That was my fucking mentality back then. Sue me. Blaming me for him having a platform is a big reach, and you're an asshole.
Not really. You did a video detailing everything you did for Natter. I did this, I did this, I did this, I set this up, I did the video. You told us everything you did. On top of the channel stuff, you paid his rent multiple times. You paid the phone bill. You paid it because you didn't want him turning off the phone where you couldn't call him. So you paid the phone bill so you'd always have access to him. Bought him a new iPad, bought him a new iPhone. Took him for weekends to expensive 5-star motels. You spend so much money on Natter. And the last deal was you offered him $2,000 a month just to keep the drama going, and he turned you down. How bad do you have to be as a person for a crackhead to say no to $2,000? You must be pretty bad, Chantal.
Platform if he wants. He was going to anyway. Every loser who I reject makes a fucking reaction channel. No more Mrs. Nice Girl today. Nobody wants to do OnlyFans with you unless they want to get an STD since you gave me 3.
Yeah, you know what, Chantal? You revealing that, you talking about that just makes you look bad. If he gave you allegedly 3 STDs, you're the bigger fool for staying with him and getting obsessed over a guy that gave you multiple STDs. Petri dish Patty. Maybe you should have left before that happened, before you got gono in your throat. That's just nasty. Nasty.
Everyone's getting it. And I will be reacting to loser. Okay, thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for sucking my balls. I think that I'm lying about my fucking cases. just because I was in love with him and dropped it. Even though the fucking audio, you people are mental, stupid, everything in the word. Figuratively, the R word is reserved for you right now. Be fucking mad, I don't care. Lord, help me.
And she's talking to her viewers this way. Again, the VIBs, not open chat.
I fucking swear to God, if I don't end up in prison this year, it will be a fucking miracle. Because right now, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about anything. You think you're going to get away with everything you've done? Really? I'm making math. Because I have Gaslight.
You know, I can't prove it. I don't have any video proof nor picture proof. I'm just going on a feeling. Chantal has confessed multiple times that she's verbally abusive, but I think she's also capable of being physically abusive. She did tell a story about when Pete's mentioned that Grace Kelly was pretty, she threw a chair. So I think she's got it in her to be physically abusive as well.
Am I responsible for what he does when I was under his fucking spell? Give me a break.
What spell? What spell did he cast on you?
You people are ignorant. You have no idea what you're talking about. Goodbye. I'm keeping my fucking comments off.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep your comments off, mama. When you keep your comments off because you want to come on the internet and tell us all your business and make your life into basically a YouTube reality show. Strange how you act all tough in front of the camera, but yet when somebody says something you don't like, you turn off the comments because you're so soft. Can't deal with the nasty comments. You want to be famous, right? That's the thing. You want to be famous. Well, guess what? Famous people, real famous people, they got to deal with criticisms and they got to handle it with grace. But you can't. If you want success, you got to know how to deal with criticism. It's just how it goes.
And I fucking love it. I have a spam folder. You don't even make it to my fucking email, bitches. What set this mood? Have you looked around the internet? Oh, I'm sorry. It's just the dumbest question ever. Like, he's taunting the fact that he threatened to out Jennifer with fucking revenge porn, which, by the way, he does have porn of me. People who like to see people upset. And
okay. I don't have the full skinny on that, but I do remember something in regards to that whole Crackhead Olympics thing. I do remember Chantal, like, she would be all mopey and stuff. And then as soon as Natter called, boom, she's out of bed. She's doing the get ready with me. She's putting her makeup on and packing her lingerie, which makes me stop and pause and ask the question, was it stuff that you willingly did with Natter? I mean, you did some OnlyFans stuff, Chantal. Twice. You did the OnlyFans things twice. You want to do the OnlyFans things with Natter. So when you were doing your, your overnight bag and you're putting your lingerie and stuff in there, was the intention to do stuff with Natter willingly? Was it unwilling or was it willing? Because I can't say for sure, but I can easily see you just thinking, oh, this is a sexy idea. Ooh, I get to be with my man on camera and doing things willingly. And then later coming back in front of your audience and putting the spin on it of, he filmed me without my consent. Honestly, I don't see how he could do the filming without you knowing. I mean, it is possible, but I can also see you being willing at the time, but then getting angry at him later and claiming that it was not willing, it was not consensual.
And rage are also fucking sick in the brain. I don't get that. Like, why are people shaming me for how I should have dealt with something? You have done that? Probably not. You'd probably still be fucking in a relationship.
You know what?
See his abusive behavior. It's just,
how about your abusive behavior? You're guilty of all kinds of abusive behaviors, Chantal. There is so much proof of that all over YouTube. You are an abusive person. You are manipulative. You're a liar. You gaslight people. You are verbally abusive. You are verbally abusive to your own VIBs. And I know this may be a bit strange to say, but it needs to be said. Because back in the day, I feel that a lot of the VIBs, whether they realize it or not, a lot of them were involved in an abusive relationship with Chantal. And yes, that's possible to be in an abusive relationship with somebody long distance. I feel a lot of them were. And maybe they just didn't realize it that way because she's on the internet and she's not physically in front of them. Because what is an abusive relationship? The person who is the abuser finds a target. In Chantal's case, it would be her own audience members, her beezers. So she would humiliate them, talk down to them, criticize them, say hurtful things, make them feel worthless, cut them down, really push them to their limits. And then turn around when she feels that she's gone too far and love bomb them and act as if she cares about them. And they think everything's okay now. She just had a bad moment. Let's forgive her. And they do forgive her and they keep coming back. Well, when it comes to an abusive person like Chantal, when they do that kind of thing to you, when an abusive person does that, if you let them get away with it and you don't walk away, the line gets pushed back even further. And they'll do more the next time. They'll push you even further the next time because they've gotten away with it the first time. So be abusive in whatever way. Do the love bombing. Let there be a brief pause of peace and comfort. And then as soon as that person starts to feel better, take that comfort away and be abusive all over again. You know, just switching from one side to the next side, the next side, the next side. And in between that, feed the person who is your target scraps of love or hope or attention to keep them hanging on even longer. What is that if not an abusive fucking relationship? You abuse your own audience, Chantal, because you're an abusive bitch. You're a predator. You're cruel. You're evil. You're mean. And you getting on YouTube, you decided to act like the mean girl in high school. You're the queen of your court, and yet you did not respect your court. You did not respect your viewers. You did not acknowledge them as people. You treated them like trash. And you wonder, where do they all go? You drove them away. Everybody has their tolerance of what they can and will put up with. And you pushed everybody to their limits with the cycles, with the lies, with the lack of the truth, with the empty promises, with the scamming, with the humiliation, with the embarrassment, with the walking on eggshells, all of it. That's why they're all gone. You did this, not Girl World. We were not in your audience urging people to leave. We were not the ones treating your audience the way that you were treating them. You did that shit. You did. Your fault. 8 years, Chantal. It took you 8 years to build up your channel, and now you're tearing it down. And that's your choice. It's your channel. Do what you will. I just don't understand the thinking why someone will work so hard to build up a channel and then turn around and purposely destroy it. And not acknowledge the fact that your audience members, your VIBs, even the people that aren't VIBs, they are valuable to your channel. That you have an audience in front of you that can give you valuable feedback that you can listen to and take that and be better as a person and have a better channel. You don't want to listen to that. You want to do what you want to do. And what you want to do is destructive. It is toxic. It is negative. And you want to continue on like that. And you think people are going to support it? They're going to watch you go down the hill? No, ma'am. After a while, it becomes too depressing. and you feel like a sponge that you just soaked up all you can soak up and you can't soak up anymore and you got to walk away, and you can't get mad at people for walking away. They're just doing what they need to do for their own sense of health. They just don't want to be negatively affected by you anymore.
Fucking putting that out there because it's something that happened to me and I fucking deserve it. Yeah, you're a psycho, you old bitch. Get out of here. And no, I'm not sucking Jennifer's ass just because she posts. That's her channel, obviously. She's hearting every comment. She's bitter about Dee Dee and Natter being a couple. So the motive for her outing all this is crappy, but it's still fucking entertaining nonetheless. If you were sitting on abuse like that for fucking months and now you're just bitter like won't fuck you, so you're releasing it? Are you crazy?
Not Chantal going after somebody else for being a bit spiteful when she's nothing but spiteful. When the beginnings of her channel, she would come home with bruises and show them off. Oh, look, I had rough sex. But then when she got mad at Natter, suddenly those bruises became abusive. Oh, he abused me. He hit me so hard I saw stars. I need a safe word. Paper clips. To her, it was just one big giant game of control and power. And if she had to lie to get power, that's what she had to do. Treating abuse as part of a big game when that's not what it's for. And there are actual victims in the world that have gone through stuff. And it takes all their courage to come forward and get justice and get their life together. And here's this woman, Chantal, who made a mockery of abuse and still does to this day.
Crazy? I feel bad for any of them. Had the fucking nerve to lie like that.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait. Before she opens her big fat mouth, I'm blowing this up. Y'all look over here. Exhibit B on the left. Y'all see what's up there? Box Mountain. That's one of them. What I say about the boxes being stacked from floor to ceiling, yeah, that was one of the Box Mountains. That's how filthy her house was. That's how lazy she was. Couldn't be bothered to break down the boxes or have Pete do it. And never mind the bags of trash that sat on her balcony for months and months and months rotting. Yeah, that happened too.
Oh, she really, really wants you to do this. Please do it for me. Don't make me look like a liar. And that's why that fucking shitty fucking threesome happened. I just feel violated, like in every way. Like,
oh, fuck off. Sorry, but I'm mad about it because she lied. She kept changing her story about that, y'all. First, she claimed it was an abusive thing, right? Then later on, she went on to say the only thing she didn't like about it was the fact that she saw Natter and Dee Dee intimate together. That was it. She kept changing her story. First, she said, oh, he kind of pressured me into this. And then when people pushed on her, like, did this really happen? She kept changing her story. She said, I exaggerated the claims, her words. And again, all of this is to show why the reactors don't like her. Like, she is a level of evil that is hardly ever witnessed. The lies that she tells, the lies she keeps telling to herself, to her audience, exploiting subjects she has no business exploiting. Talking about BED when, in my opinion, she doesn't really have that. She's got a food addiction. She's got food aggression. True. Does she need treatment? Absolutely. There might be other issues too that are undiagnosed, don't know, don't want to know. But exploiting BED, exploiting food addiction, exploiting DVSA, okay? This is part of why we don't like her. She is such a horrible liar. No moral compass, no values, no nothing, no structure. Just will lie for the sake of lying when she doesn't have to. When it's so simple to tell the truth.
Like, when I think of, like, all the STDs, he's a fucking evil piece of shit who should be in jail for abusing women. And I don't know if I'll ever get any closure.
You know what, Chantal? The first never hid who he was. But you hid who you were because you wanted to be accepted by him. But you met him and you got a good gist of who he was. And whatever it was, you felt good enough to make a channel for him and put him on YouTube in front of women. knowing he was going to talk to women. So what does that say about you? Huh? What's that say about you? Not good things. Why would a woman who's being hurt in any way by a man decide it's a good idea to make a channel for that man where he can make money and talk to other women? Go fuck yourself.
Until he's behind bars. Like, for real, I don't think I will. Are you serious? I did nothing shady to this person. Ever. Why did I deserve to have a cigarette flicked at me? Why did I deserve to fucking feel uncomfortable and made to do things I don't want to do? Why did I deserve to have my face yelled at for 6 hours in the fucking kitchen? Fuck you. For what? Because I thought,
She's over here trying to get sympathy for things that never happened to her. Making up stories. Always making up stories. Can I just add this in real quick? If you're someone you've gone through DV or SA, it is highly, highly unusual that a person who's actually gone through it, they can get online and talk about what happened to them in front of an audience of thousands. When you've actually gone through it, it's hard just talking to one person about it, because when you're talking about it, you're reliving it in your head. It's like a movie playing in your brain. But she had no problem talking about her alleged abuse night after night after night after night after night with complete strangers. And she made a lot of money talking about her alleged DV. We're talking thousands of dollars for abuse that never fucking happened in the first place.
I allowed myself to be treated that way. And never, never, never. I will die. I will fucking die at the hands of somebody trying to abuse me again. Your karma's coming, and I know it. And it's the end cannot come. Myself in the position. Hear that again. I'll put myself in that position. The opposite of love is indifference. Yeah, but he hurt me a lot, so I fucking hate him. I'm going to the police to tell them everything. I think
yeah, about that police visit. That police visit, she could have gone anytime she wanted if the abuse was real. When did she choose to go? She chose to go to the police. For some stupid reason, Natter decided to go with Dee Dee to the police station to file a restraining order against Chantal because she was so incredibly bad. We're talking parked outside in front of his house playing music bad. I'm not even making that up. That actually happened. She was obsessive. And we all remember the stream she did where the chat was gassing her up and she went over to his house and she tried the doorknob and looking in the windows. Yeah, little peeping Patty over there. Natter did a stream or posted something saying he was going to the police station for a restraining order. Her chat told her about that, and she decided, you know what? I'm going to beat him there first. She went to allegedly the cops to scare him, maybe scare Dee Dee to go back home to Montreal because she wanted to be with him, to get the one up. I can't exactly say. Maybe all of the above, maybe none of the above. But she was like, oh yeah, you're going to do that? Well, I'm going to do this. Even before that stream, there were warning signs. She was in his house doing a stream. It was the one where she had like a peach or an orange bra on and the sheet wrapped around, tucked into the bra. Natter was out of the room. Somebody asked the question, have you thought about Natter being with another woman, leaving you and being with somebody else? She said, I think about that all the time. And then she said, I've got a plan. I'm not as stupid as you guys think. Trust. Something about an Aries. It's her exact words, almost verbatim. So she already had it in her back pocket that if he tried to get away from her, she was going to punish him. So there was Natter trying to get away from her, file a restraining order so she couldn't come over anymore. And to punish him for trying to do that, for trying to get away from her, she was willing to make legal trouble for him because she knew he had a criminal past. That is how evil and obsessive she is. Like, if I can't have you, nobody can have you. If I can't have you, and if you're not going along with my program and you'll let me bully my way into your life, I'm going to put you in jail. That's how monstrous she is. I'm not taking up for Natter. He's still a scumbag, but I'm just pointing about what a monster she is. She wants to paint everybody else as being the monster in this fairy tale, but she's the biggest monster of all.
Trail police, because I just want someone to listen to me and everything and hear the recordings. That's the thing. It's all behind the scenes, just like the leaked audio. Did you ever think that you would ever hear Dee pleading for her life the way she sits and fucking supports him? No, right? But tell me again how nothing happens behind the scenes and I'm delusional. Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk to the same detective and be like, so this time, honestly, I felt very, very, very confused at the time. I remember like calling him at the Tim Hortons, like, hey, I really want to
the allegations. She also went to his house with coffee and green products, like a little care package, after she went to the cops. So is that something a real victim would do? No.
To see him, and for her to fucking laugh with Jennifer about that, oh, she really wanted to see him too, of course. Yeah, of course, bitch, because you fucking swooped in when we were in the middle of our something. I just people.
I'm going to point out the obvious, even though I shouldn't have to. Chantal, if you're seeing a man, you're interested in a man, and another woman comes along, swooping in, flying in by airplane, coming in by train, by bus, by scooter, whatever. If another woman comes across the guy you're interested in, and that man decides he likes her better, she is more suited for him, and he goes off with her, that's a sign that he's not meant for you. You got that young female way of thinking. Like, you swooped in and you took him away from me, and that's the only reason why he's gone. If he wanted you, if he loved you, if you mattered more to him, he would have been with you, dummy. Obviously, you don't mean that much to him.
Fuck me over like this. There's no point in me dwelling on the mistake of dropping the charges because I did what I did. This motherfucker had it made, had all his bills paid for, all his groceries, his drugs, he was done and everything. And
she's confessing to everything she did for him. This abusive guy, she did everything. He was so abusive, but I did all these things. Make it make sense.
Still wasn't enough. The week before, she's not my type. Now because it's convenient, they're a couple. Like, it's so obvious what he's doing, and people are so dumb and blind, or they just don't care. So you know how crazy I was in love with him, and I have no sympathy for her. I have a little.
You know what, Chantal? Again, you opened the door to that. If you had not brought him onto YouTube and created a channel and him doing the content and the lives, Dee would never have known about Natter. She was one of your beezers. You introduced Natter to the internet, to YouTube, to your beezers, and then one of your beezers hooked up with him and has had him ever since. That's on you. You decided to bring him here. And then what happened? We're repeating history yet again. Because what happened with Salah? You want to say it? I'll say it for you. You brought Salah onto the internet, right? Remember? Yeah, I remember. So you brought Salah here, bragging about him, handsomest man, right? And then handsomest man had a roving eye, and it roved right on over to Kybella. Started talking to her while you were gone, and then there were all those texts which got exposed, and you got embarrassed again. So you didn't learn your lesson, did you? You're so eager to show off whatever man you're wrapped around, opening the door that if they want somebody else, if they're tempted by something, they can go after it, and they usually do.
I'll be back later because my thing is not working good and I have a lot to do, but I'll be back later, okay? I'm sorry for getting all stabby with my vegetables earlier. I come on here flipping out like I expect people to just understand how I'm feeling. Like,
and that's another thing she does wrong. This is something else that really was too heavy for a lot of her beezers to take. Her treating her channel like her own therapy session. But instead of paying a therapist, she wanted people to pay her for the privilege, if you want to call it that, of listening to her trauma dump on them and problem dump on them. Like dump her negativity in their eardrums and give them a headache. Like it wasn't a happy time. There were no happy times. There were crazy times, but not happy times. But it just got to be too much. 1 minute she's talking about Natter in a derogatory way. The next minute she's talking about and saying, you guys don't know us. He's a good guy, blah, blah, blah. And then going back to talking bad about him when she's mad at him. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Oh, he's abusive. But then she gets caught sneaking off to go see him. It drove everybody nuts. It was absolute lunacy. The picture that she painted of herself, the things she said about other people, the things that happened. I mean, all of it. It's just the overall impression of her. None of this has to do with her weight. Her weight is her issue, like I said. It's just who she is presenting herself to be to the general public. Like this is her public persona sucks. There's nothing positive about it. There's nothing inspirational about it. There's nothing about it that even makes sense or seems sane. It's crazy. Nuts. And the fact that she's a liar and she's abusive and she's just, who would like somebody like that? Who would talk well of somebody like that? Nobody. She has a right to feel the way she wants to feel about herself, but we have the right as people, as reactors, to have our opinions and put our opinions out there. And if people don't agree, that's fine. But there are a lot that do agree because they watch Chantal and they see what we see and they feel how we feel and they speak up and they say so. But Chantal does not like anything that opposes her, even if it is just a public opinion. Even though she creates the content and she's creating the vibe to form that public opinion, she doesn't want to acknowledge any responsibility in that. She just goes on the defensive and she uses the shield of they don't like me just because I'm big. Has nothing to do with your size, Chantal. Has everything to do, that's what's inside that comes out. Like that energy you're putting out. It's a really bad energy. It's a special kind of ugly. It's just ugly. It's offensive. Really offensive. But that's what you wanted. That's what you designed. That's what you built. You can't get angry over people responding in a certain way to what you build if you give a certain look and feel and taste to it. You just can't get mad.
It's just hard to be excited about anything when you're going through shit, you know? And all I want to do is smoke or do edibles, and I can't. Oh, so tomorrow at 10:30, I finally have this therapy. I need to start kickboxing.
She always talked about it, but she never did it. Part of the Chantal cycle.
Aggression out. Honestly, I need to do something. Like, I feel like I should feel indifferent. I don't. Like, am I torturing myself? Probably. I don't know if I can handle any more of that leaked audio. Honestly, maybe that's what's
and the scary thing about this woman is that she is such an actress when it comes to she doesn't really feel emotion, but she puts on the act of feeling it. I have seen Chantal like flip in seconds from like laughing to crying to laughing again to crying again. I mean, calming down. She flips through her emotions so quickly. Fucking psychopath. Like putting on whatever mask or whatever emotion she thinks will get money out of people or get sympathy or something. Like just, it's insane. It's insane. How she'll act emotional, but then she'll cut that emotion off and do another one within seconds. Wild.
Hearing him be someone I didn't know him as, like, I don't understand how someone can look me in the face and lie to me like that when I'm crying over you. So much emotions to process. He had like a whole fucking 5 different lives going on in the background. Why does my hair look like a fucking nest? I'm just mourning. And not just because of him, because before him I had problems too, and they just all magnified because they weren't resolved. Now I'm back to square one with even more problems. That's how I feel. If I loved anything, it was an idea of him that I fought because it was a dishonest.
Yeah, there you go. Like you said something important, Chantal. You said, I love the idea of him. Not the person, the idea. And the idea you've always had in mind was having a guy around who adored you, who was a bit of a bad boy and exciting. I mean, I don't think you even know what makes you happy. You know, like you want too much. And yet you're not willing to give to yourself and make yourself the kind of woman that a man could be proud to be with. But you want a guy who's a bad boy, right? Bad boys are bad boys for a reason. You understand? They're bad for you. I know because I've been involved with a few. I'm not going to lie. It is what it is. Bad boys are attractive and they're a bit exciting, but they're bad for the heart. That's all it is. But you want a bad boy who is devoted to you. At the same time, if a man is devoted to you and you get control of him, you get bored of him, you step all over him. You're unhappy if you have lots of money, but then again, you're unhappy if you don't have enough. Like, I don't think you even know what makes you happy. You just go from one thing to the next thing, grab, 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 grab. You don't even know, and you're not willing to find out. You don't even know who you are. You've been too busy hopping from guy to guy to guy, taking up different personas for each one as you go, and just being whatever version of yourself you think will make them accept you. Looking for validation in men, in food, in attention, in the feeders. You've invested nothing in yourself, and you're a horrible bitch. You probably always will be. And that's on you to change or not to change.
I love somebody that didn't exist. This is stress. No, that's tweaking. You can't pick up your food with your fork. That's tweaking. Excuse me, don't blame that on me. I tried to get you off the drugs. I tried to do
what? No, you didn't, you big liar. You were the one buying him party favors. What are you talking about?
a lot for you, and you just had none of it. He, from the day one, made me care about him. I'd literally be.
I'm sorry, that's funny. She's got jokes today. He made me care about him. No, you wanted to. You wanted to care. You wanted a man in your life, and you were thirsty and desperate for attention. You grabbed onto him when you didn't have to. You grab onto anybody, Chantal.
Breadcrumbs. That's where the expression comes from. He would, the little cat toy, anything I would look for validation from him, anything.
You know what? You know what she's the most mad at? Player got played. She thought she was the smartest person in the room, the biggest con artist, the biggest liar. She looked at Nader and thought, he's just some stupid crackhead. I can get what I want from him. Well, you know, the scammer got scammed. Nader met up with her and figured her out pretty quickly, to the point where he played her against herself. All of her insecurities and jealousies, he played all of that against herself to get more money and more gifts out of her, because he realized if he had Dee Dee around long enough, that Chantal would be fiending for her Nader fix, foaming at the mouth to see him and get attention from him. And the longer he waited between seeing her, the more he would get out of her, because she would get so desperate. She would offer up more and more and more money for Dee Dee to go away. Like he was a bad boy, because if he had been a good boy and gotten under her thumb, she would have lost interest really fast, and he wouldn't have gotten the money and party favors and whatnot out of her. Being a bad boy meant he could get stuff out of her for a long, long time, and he did. And she never woke up and realized it. Never occurred to her. Or if it occurred to her, she just ignored it. Player got played. She has, to this day, she hasn't gotten past that she got played. She's a sore loser. She lost Nader, and she still wants him just because she lost. She'll always want to win that game.
Like, do you love me now? Do you love me now? Do you love me now? Took me a long time to see this fucking shit. So the guy with the British accent and I blocked him because he was an asshole and he was homophobic.
Oh, geez. This is her talking about the many men that were allegedly chasing her. Okay.
The young guy I blocked because he's young and asked for money. Swearing.
Chantal, why do you lie about all these men that are chasing you? Why?
Or my grandmother, after she passed, I swore on her that I would never go back to him because at the time I didn't think I was going to. I regret doing that. I'm sorry, Gramps. What is that? A hippo? Apparently, I exceeded the weight limit of the scooter and it was crying for help.
Yeah, I remember that. Her going to a store and riding a scooter, and yes, she was way over the weight limit, and that poor scooter was ready to quit. You could hear it squeaking under her weight. And this was when she was still at the villa. Now she's 200 pounds heavier.
And I didn't realize that. I thought it was just squeaky. It needed WD-40. This is my new album cover. No, there it is. I found out whether I wanted to or not in Cuba. I kissed God and everything.
So you found God in Cuba. What happened in Kuwait? Boy, that changed really fast.
I have Jose waiting any day with the consent form. Well, I got to print it out, but he's ready to just put a mask on and do all kinds of content, and I just can't bring.
Oh, Lord. See what I mean? Going to Cuba, finding some guy, probably offering him money. Desperate ass.
Myself to do it. So if I'm not comfortable with it, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. On the other hand, people have already seen my fupa, but not in a like sexual way, I guess. All right, I'm gonna get off for a little while. Fuck it. I'll come back a bit later. Maybe we'll see. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet.
Yeah, whatever. Shut up, Chantal. I think that's enough for today. What do y'all think? I just wanted to show a blast from the past, different streams, different time periods. Let's see, when was that last stream done? Real quick, that was a year ago. So that let's pin that and make a note of that. That was a year ago. 1 year. This was Chantal a year ago. So can a person who acts this way, doing the heavy party favors, acting crazy, change from all of this to somebody who's modest and they're all about the prayer and wearing the abaya and the hijab, make a drastic change and get on top of all of their issues in a year? I think that would be one heck of a tall order. Not one that she could fulfill because she's not interested. So for anybody who wanted to know why the reactors don't like Chantal, why Girl World does not like Chantal, these are just a few examples. And there's many more out there. Again, feel free to do your research. Make your own opinion. Have your own feelings if you wish. I encourage you to do your own research, your own homework. Feel how you want to feel. Do what you want to do. But if that many people don't like Chantal, there has to be a reason for it. What did she do? What did she say? We got a whole list. And there's all kinds of archive channels and clip channels. We got all the evidence, baby. We got receipts all day long everywhere. Feel free to do the homework. You'll see why we don't like her. She's going downhill fast, and that's on her. 8 years of a channel, building it up and tearing it down by her own hand. We're not doing it to her. She's self-destructing and destructing her channel at the same time. So that's it for this retro react. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And please check out Queen of WTF. I will leave link for all the videos used in the video description. And y'all have a great day. Take care now. Bye-bye.